Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Friday, June 2nd, and we are starting into the summer months here in Vegas, Anthony.
Yeah, it's going to get hot pretty fast. 90, 98 tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, and it's been hot. It's been hitting
90s.
Yeah.
Been in the 90s. So, yeah, we got triple digits coming, a week away.
But let's talk about this new outdoor carousel bar at the Plaza.
Yeah, just in time, right, for summer. This is, the new bar outside. It's in the front where you used to drive in underneath the dome.
Uh-huh.
And it's part of a bigger thing that they call the Main Street Reimagination.
Cool.
They're going to open a Pink Box Donuts there. They're going to have a patio upgrade upstairs at Oscar's. It's going to be outside. But the centerpiece of this is this big new carousel bar.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing. I'm thinking. I do not remember ever video poker being outside.
Okay.
So the bar has video poker, and you are outside. And I cannot remember, but it comes with a few problems. Mm-hmm. All right. So one is there's glare. There's glare on the machines.
Oh no.
And you would think it would be from the sun because you're outside, but it's not. It's from the lights on top of the on the dome.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of lights out there by the Plaza.
Right. So there's that. The best game, it's not really a good game. The best game is 7-5 bonus poker.
Okay.
That's a 98.01% game. So it's still 2% negative there. But here's the worst thing. They're not giving you a comp drink on your buy-in.
Okay.
All right. So that's rare.
So how does it work?
Well, they want you. It's another one of these things where they've got the lights on. Oh. That when you play X amount of coin in, the light will go on in the back. You can't
it's
see.
a red-green light on the back.
And that tells the bartender that it's okay to give you a drink. Mm-hmm. So I asked how much do you have to play through, and they claimed they didn't know or they weren't telling. But I'm sure it's typical. It's usually $40 to $50 coin in.
Okay. And
the light will go on. So if you're going to play it for any amount of time, that's fine. But what you've got to be careful of is don't walk up and order a drink before you've in a place like this
before you've turned the button
qualified, because they'll give you a check for that.
Okay. And
they'll expect you to pay it.
All right.
And I even asked, I said, well, what if somebody does that? And they go, no, we'll give them a bill rather. We'll give them a bill and they've got to pay the bill. Well, you don't have to pay the bill. You can go, no, I'm not paying the bill, and you can leave. But and that's not what you're there for.
Right. Well, that's a pro tip, and that actually happens at a lot of casinos too. I know that actually does happen at the Strat as well.
Yeah, well, it's it's starting to be more and more. When we reviewed Ojos Locos, and that bar, same thing. They did not give it to you on. In fact, you did it. You put money in, started playing. I'll have a drink, and they wanted to charge you.
That's right.
And you said hold off, so that was good.
Yes.
But
I was looking to save a buck. You know.
Really. But you just got to be careful for that. And make sure you wait to order until they tell you it's okay. One more tip, if you want to know. You can keep asking the bartender, is the light on? Is the light on? You can take your napkin and put it behind your machine, and you can see if the light has changed.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's a reflection.
Another little pro tip.
It's a pro drinker tip.
That's right. We did report about this many episodes back when they first started talking about this. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to go downtown and gamble outside.
Yeah, go get a beer and, get a beer after you played for a while.
Yeah, and I think Oscar still has a happy hour.
Yes, indeed, he does.
All right, now this one is interesting because, Anthony, we kind of predicted this, right?
Strat.
Let's talk about the Strat.
Yeah, they're pivoting with their parking. When we talked about this, when they initiated the parking fee thing, we were like, no grace period, no free for locals. Who's going to go there?
It seemed like a gouge.
Yeah, and well, there's a gouge everywhere, but the thing is, some places can gouge and some can't.
Right.
And the Strat, with their bad location and all, not that there's anything wrong with the place, but they can't really charge for parking and expect locals to go there. So they've changed the policy.
Okay.
Locals can now park free. It's also confirmed. I wasn't sure, or at least I wasn't sure, if hotel guests could park free, but they also can.
Okay.
Along with special, the higher tiers and all that. So it's more like the other places that charge for parking now. But they're not. The funny thing is that they're not geared up for it.
Okay.
Because they didn't think they were going to do this, and they don't have all the pay stations, and they don't use tickets right now, and it's really confusing. They've got attendants there to help you in and out. You show them your ID, you're local, and you can park for free, or you show them your room key, that sort of thing.
All right, so the Strat is back, and I just want to say that the LA Comedy Club is at the Strat. It's a fantastic comedy club. They got shows 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 7 days a week. So if you're a local, you can park for free. Go check out the LA Comedy Club.
Yeah, well, the problem there is that they were getting this kind of pushback. And we're going to talk about this a little later when we do the second question of the week that we've done. The customers got to start pushing back, and I think they have, and I think that's why they changed the policy there.
Good job, guys. Good job. Push back. Well, June is here, and the WSOP, the World Series of Poker, is underway.
54th annual.
Yep.
Horseshoe on the Strip for the second year in a row. Now, actually, Horseshoe and / Paris, both of those places are hosting tournaments. Last year, it was still called Bally's.
Yes.
So it's not Bally's anymore, it's the Horseshoe. So officially first time at the Horseshoe. They'll be going all the way through to into July, middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
The main event will play July 3rd through July 17th.
Yes.
So interesting thing here, though. We took a good look for this issue of the Las Vegas Advisor. We took a look at the takeout, meaning what they take out of the pools that they pay back.
The rake.
The rake, yeah. And we called it, actually the story, we called it Big Vig for vigorous, right?
Right.
And it's quite amazing. You know, you look at the main event, they're taking 7% out of the pool. And the way you have to look at that is like that is the starting edge for the game. You know, so when you play roulette, for example, it's 5.26 for a 00 roulette. Here it's 7.
Okay.
7% worse than playing roulette, assuming
Wow.
everybody's equal.
Okay.
Now they're not. Some are better than others. They can overcome that. But here's where it gets worse. As the buy-ins go down, lower and lower buy-ins, they take more and more rake.
Really?
All the way up to 18%.
Okay.
So they're going to run something called the Gladiators of Poker this year, which is going to be a $300 entry fee, the lowest entry fee they've ever had for a World Series bracelet event. And people are going to flock to it to play to say they played in the World Series for $300, but they're taking 18% out of the pool. That's like betting horses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, I mean, it's absolutely terrible. And people don't seem to care, but you know, I'm here to tell you that you're not going to beat that. You're not going to beat an 18% rake.
Okay. Yeah, wow.
Over
That
time.
sounds pretty high.
It's very high.
Yeah, okay.
So there are some alternative tournaments, like there always are every year. So the other places in town that have poker rooms like to play off of all the spillover from the World Series. So the alternatives this year are at the Wynn Las Vegas Venetian, Golden Nugget downtown in New Orleans.
Okay, so there's some other options in town if you want to come play some poker.
Yeah, and you should take a look, you know, with lower buy-ins and all, and probably lower takeouts.
Okay, and that's what you want. And the takeout is also the rake. It's also the vig.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's the bad thing.
Also on the topic of poker, the Trop. They have a new poker room.
It's going to open this month.
Okay.
And this one's interesting to me because they're going to try to actually be a player here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this is Bally's Corporation, you know, not to be confused with the Bally's that was owned by, you know, somebody else, blah, 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 on
Right.
and on and on there. But they are... they're trying to get into like gambling on television and live streaming and things like that.
That's cool.
So they've built around their poker room. They're going to have a show emanating out of there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a studio and the whole thing. And in order to make this thing work, they're promising, you know, the lowest rake on the Strip. They're promising daily tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
They're very aggressive. You know, this Bally's group is very aggressive in what they're trying to do. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do there, you know, what they got. Because they're talking about possibly running other tournaments as well, not just poker.
That sounds really cool, you know. That sounds and also they have free parking at the Trop. So you go check it out just for the free parking.
Yeah, until the stadium gets there, right? And they blow the Trop up. So
Yeah, it'll be under construction just like the different parts of the city right now.
Yeah,
but
right.
That sounds really cool. So as we've been talking about lately, the Downtown Grand has a weekly blackjack tournament where you can buy in for $25 and also you can do a $25 rebuy. I missed it yesterday. How did you do, Anthony?
Well, you weren't there, so I was able to get to the finals. You know,
Yeah.
After you pushed me out, you know, the last time you were there.
Right.
I made the finals. I got to a position where I had to double down on a 12 against a 7 to win it.
Okay.
And I made a hand. And the dealer made a 21, so
Yikes.
I ended up out of the money. But the big news here's why we're talking about this tournament, is they've opened their hot dog stand.
Yay. Hot dog stand is open at the Downtown Grand.
And this is, you know, one of the best deals in town. It's a Nathan's hot dog and a PBR for $2.
Perfect.
It is, they've got onions, relish, mustard, ketchup, and sauerkraut.
Wow.
And those things are off to the side, so you can put on as much as you want. I honestly don't think the hot dogs are as good as South Point.
Really? Okay.
You know, they're good. They're definitely good, but there's something about the South Point dogs, a different kind, I guess. What is it, Sabaret, whatever they call those
I'm
things?
not sure.
But anyway, I like those a little bit better, but these are good. These are very, very good, too.
Okay.
And $2 for a beer and a dog.
Yeah, that sounds great. And also, I mean, that's one of the best deals in town for food, but also the Downtown Grand's got that $1 blackjack.
Yeah, $1 blackjack, and just being downtown, they got the good pizza across the street at Pizza Rock.
Yeah.
And you know what we did, Andrew, yesterday that I have not done in years? I had some friends in from out of town. They wanted to see Hogs and Heifers.
Oh, really? Cool.
So we walked over afterwards and went to Hogs and Heifers.
Yeah.
And was that ever a blast?
It's fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what it is? It's like, for those who don't know, it's sort of like if you've seen the movie Coyote Ugly.
The Coyote Ugly, I believe, was based off of that bar in New York.
Yeah, but I think it was called Coyote Ugly, and this Hogs and Heifers. I don't know, maybe I'm not sure of how that went down, but the girls dance on the bar, and they pull out megaphones and yell at you.
That's right. They insult you a little bit if
Yeah.
you don't drink enough or
Right.
the right drinks. Or...
I was with a buddy from Detroit, and he was wearing shorts and a red shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
And she starts yelling at him. She goes, "Hey, Dave from State Farm."
That's funny.
And the funny thing was, his name is Dave, right?
That's
And
hilarious.
She's like, "Take your shirt out of your belt. Untuck your shirt." Everybody's watching. Everyone's laughing. So it's fun. Hogs and Heifers across the street. I recommend it.
Yeah, that's. I remember when I went there in New York, they put a shot down in front of me. They said, "You're going to take this shot," and I said, "I don't know. I don't really." Hey, shut up! You're going to take the shot. All right,
It's fun.
It's a fun place.
Yeah.
So this town is going bananas because the Vegas Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yes. Playing against the Florida Panthers. They're minus 125 favorites.
Okay.
They were minus 135 at the Open. Came down to 125, so that means money's coming in on the Panthers there. First game is Saturday.
Okay.
Tomorrow in Vegas. And the town again is going nuts, like they did in 2019 when Vegas was, the first year expansion team, and went to the finals. The kind of renews interest in our book that we did on the Vegas Golden Knights. It was written by Joe Payne. We talked about Joe Payne a couple of weeks ago. He died recently. Joe signed a few copies, and we've got a few signed copies, that we're selling right now. I think it's $14 for unsigned and $16 for signed.
Okay.
But the thing is about this book is, it's the story of the Golden Knights' inaugural season, but there's a lot of hockey in this book. If you dig hockey or you want to understand hockey, we have these call-outs, boxes all through the book that explain the different things that happen, when you see offsides or how the penalties work and that sort of thing. It's a good book. Great photos inside, and grab one.
All right, and that's pretty cool. You got some signed copies.
Yeah, and whether you get a signed one or not, but or whether you buy the book or not, but Vegas is excited again, man. I mean, they're going to go crazy if they can pull it off.
All right, we'll see you at the sports book. All right, and in this segment, we are going to do another question of the week. This one comes in, says, "I like the idea of question of the week. Here's mine. To what do you attribute the casinos making their biggest profits ever, other than the tightening of the machines? As a local for over 22 years playing video poker 3 to 5 days a week, I have consistently hit at least one hand pay per month, if not more. In 2023, I have yet to receive a hand pay."
All right.
What do you think about this?
Disgruntled player, there's not getting paid. We'll talk about that in a second. First of all, okay, why are the casinos making so much money? We've talked about this off and on. Demand. The customers there's still demand. The customers are rushing in. The casinos are, they are lowering returns. So, again, we'll discuss this specifically in a minute. But they are the schedules on the games are being lessened. The rules on blackjack are going to 6 to 5 and getting worse. You're finding 000 roulette, that sort of thing. They're raising prices. The room rate average right now is the highest it's ever been in history. $213.25.
Right, especially with Formula One coming in September, the Sphere opening.
But you can do better than that, obviously. You know, I mean, we priced it out. We found Downtown Grand was like $49 with our coupon to waive the resort fee.
Sure.
We found some that were even lower. I think Binion's was something like $46. They don't have a resort fee there either. So you can do better, but the average is $213 and change. And the casinos are not. They're not staffing up. We said this before. They're short-staffed. All over town, they're short-staffed. You continue to see it. And so they're making money hand over fist. They're going to continue to do that until they get pushback from the consumer. The consumer has got to go to places that are treating them better than, going to the strip everywhere all the time. We saw that with the Strat. What happened? They got pushback. They changed the policy. And, that's what's going to have to happen.
Well, and I also, because when I heard this question, I actually thought the first thing that you were going to say is yeah, Vegas is tightening up and it's more expensive. But also, this guy's playing 3 to 5 times a week, so he's playing a lot, and there's variance.
Well, that's what it is. So let's discuss that. The fact that he's not getting hand pace.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's variance. I mean, he got into something where he expected to get hitting a lot of jackpots. So that'll happen for a while. And then even if the schedules are diminished slightly, he's playing a slightly lesser game, that is going to affect that to some degree, how many jackpots you hit, because you don't get as many bullets to play with. But it's not really significantly where you would notice it that much.
Okay.
It's just variance. It's just that he was doing well, and then all of a sudden he's doing bad, and all of a sudden you go, well, that's because the casinos have tightened the machines. It's not really that. It's just the way probability works.
Okay.
But the interesting thing is that it works both ways, as we're about to find out with the jackpot of the week, is that you can run bad for a long time and you can run really good for a short or a long time.
That's very true.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's talk about this week's jackpot of the week, and let's talk about running hot, because I've hit some very good KENO action this week, and I'll put some pictures up of my weekly KENO hits from just this week.
Yeah, don't follow the leader on this one.
Yeah, I know, because I know how variance works. I know you told the story about your friend who he made 30,000.
Made 35,000 in the first year in town.
Yeah,
and
playing KENO.
By the next year, he was down 35,000.
Yeah.
So
okay, so back to this week's jackpot of the week. Here we go. This week's jackpot of the week comes to us from Ken E. I am an LVA member, and I wanted to share my gambling story for your YouTube show. I was in recently Sunday through Saturday for a convention, and I play mostly spin, poker, or multi-hand games, usually 5-cent or 10-cent denomination. A few hours into my first day of playing nickels, I got 4 aces dealt at Green Valley Ranch, but no kicker, playing the Spin Poker Deluxe. It was good for $1,600, so I upped my bet to 10 cents, and I moved to an older Spin Poker Deluxe machine. 1 hour later, I hit again, and this time with a kicker. My second win was $8,000 playing triple-double bonus, my biggest win ever. But I was only half done, Anthony. Okay.
This is making me sick, but no.
This is a pretty incredible run. I did my conference, so he got his work done, and I moved down to the Palms, which is where I like to play. Thursday night, I hit again with a kicker at the 10-cent denomination, another $8,000 for aces dealt. The next morning, I enjoyed the half-off buffet with my LVA coupon, too, and he says this is almost as sweet as the previous evening's jackpot.
Sure.
But thanks, Ken. Okay. Then he says, Saturday, I was playing at Boulder Station, and I hit one more 4 aces dealt for my 4th of the week. No kicker, but I was playing 25 cents, which got me to 2,700, which got me a 2,700 win. Phew, I was exhausted. Yeah, sounds exhausting.
Yeah,
and
sounds
fun.
horrible.
I had several royals and several other quads dealt with a few more hand pays, but nothing as great as those quads and aces.
All right, there's the other side of the coin in spades, right?
Yeah.
So, and oh, by the way, I had several royals also. Right?
I know.
I don't care about the royals. I like all of these. I mean, amazing. He's playing high variance games. He's playing double. He's playing triple.
Yeah.
When you hit those aces in those games, they really pay.
That's right, because you're playing multiple lines.
Yes, I mean that's spin poker. Spin poker is just zigzagging all the way. As many lines as you want to play, and sure, you can hit a lot. You can also lose a lot as you play. Interesting thing about spin poker is the strategy doesn't change from regular. You just play it like a regular video poker game. It's like some of the other variants, you would change strategy. But this is just another example. I mean, a huge score for a guy who's playing nickels and dimes.
Yeah.
Huge score, almost 20 grand in jackpots there. Who knows how much of it he lost back. But still, I'm sure he came out way ahead.
Sounded like he was playing quite a bit of hands.
Yeah, but I mean that just shows the first guy, the question of the week, he goes, they've tightened it up. I'm not winning. This guy goes, in his mind, he's like, well, these are the loosest machines on earth. So,
right.
It's just variance, and it's going to happen. That's what the bell curve tells us.
Right, and you fall on one side of the bell curve or the other, but most people are on the unlucky side.
Yeah, we had 2 examples, one on each side right here.
All right, guys.
Congratulations. That's quite a run.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Anything to add, Anthony?
Yeah, actually, yes. This week, we'll talk about the comments real quick.
Okay.
You know, we're getting more and more. We're starting to get over 100 comments an episode, which is great. I want to make everybody aware that I read every one of them.
Yeah.
And I try to respond to many of them. I don't respond to the same one where they go, great show, great show, great show, which we appreciate. I don't keep going, thank you, thank you, thank you. But, you know, if you say great show and somebody else said great show and I said thank you, I'm thanking you as well. But my point is sometimes I don't get to them for 6 or 7 days because I want to let them build up and then I'll sit down all at once with a beer or something like that and, you know, answer things. So a lot of the questions you ask I will try to answer in the comments, and we get questions from you that we can then incorporate into the show. So even if it's been, you know, a week, even 10 days, go back and look at what you wrote and maybe you got an answer.
Right. You probably got a comment from Anthony. All right, guys. And thank you, because the comments really do make a difference. The more comments you leave, the more, I guess, the algorithm shares the content. And so like, share, and subscribe. And that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.